This song explains why I'm leaving home to become a stewardess.
We can't talk. We have to listen to rock music.
I love you.
Let us be lovers, we'll marry our fortunes together. I've got some real estate here in my bag, so we bought a pack of cigarettes and Mrs. Wagner pie and walked off to look for America.
Hey there friends, how's it going today? David Potts here with Song Notes. Today I'm excited to show you how to play America by Simon and Garfunkel. This has been one of my favorite songs for the last 25 years. I saw it in Almost Famous when that movie came out in theaters. One of my all-time favorite movies and probably my favorite scene in that movie. A big picture, this song is a lot to chew on, right? You have a ton of chords, a bunch of different progressions, and it's tricky to remember. So if you need help, get my practice notes. They're over on my website. All the chord progressions, the chord shapes, strumming tips, all the different walkdowns are all explained. I'll even tackle the vocal melody if you're interested in that sort of thing. So head on over to songnotes.net. That's my website. This is lesson 603. You can find all my materials for this song, as well as the other lessons I've made that will tackle skills used in this song. And I have a bunch of Simon and Garfunkel lessons available as well. I'll link to them there too. So no more talking. Let's get into it. Skip ahead if you're looking for something in particular, and otherwise I'll see you on the other side. Let's go. All right, friends, so let's kick this one off really quick talking about the rhythm of this song, right? This is going to lead into the strumming, but this is really important before we learn any of the chords. We want to understand the rhythmic feel and the groove of this. So this song is in 6/8 time. I have a whole lesson talking about that time signature. Most songs are in 4/4 time, 4 beats per measure. When we're in 6/8 time, what that means is we're going to have 6 counts per measure, and the accent, right, the emphasized beats are going to be on the 1 and the 4 counts, right? So think of it as 2 chunks of 3 beats, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the sort of rhythmic feel. Now, the best way to practice it for this song is mute the strings with your chord hand. No chords just yet. Just worry about your strumming hand. And then you can put on Paul Simon's version and strum along. Or you can just sing it yourself, right? Let us be lovers, we'll follow our fortune together. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got some real estate here in my bag. It's really important that you can sort of tap into that feel. Now, strumming wise, what we're going to want to do is keep those strong strums on the 1 and the 4 count, but we're going to do a sort of down, down, up, down, up, 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 right? So a stronger down strum on the 1 and the 4, and then a light down, up, right? On the 2 and 3 end, and then on the 5 and 6 end. And it's really important you kind of get those light just brushes. Now on those light down and up strums, if you were to add an extra strum there or remove one, it doesn't really matter. It's okay. As long as you keep the strong pulse on the 1 and the 4, that's going to be good. So to give you an idea of what that sounds like with actual chords, let me play the intro for you, and that's going to segue into the intro, which is what I'm going to teach you next. Okay, so. Okay, so let's look at the intro to this song now. I'll show you the easiest way to play it, and I'll show you a few ways you can level things up, okay? Now about these chords. The C, I'm sure you already know. When we go to a C over B, we're going to keep our index finger still, right? We want to lift up our ring finger and then move our middle finger to the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Okay, some folks will call this a C add 9 over B because the add 9 is the note D, which is in that chord. So whatever though, don't worry about that, right? C, C over B. And then we're going to move that middle finger just 1 string thinner to the 2nd fret of the 4th string to an A minor 7. Some teachers will show this as an A minor, which requires you to put your ring finger down also. You can do that if you want. You don't have to. I think the easiest way to play it is just this 2-finger version, right? You could think of this as a C over A, technically, right? And then for the C over G, we're just going to put our ring finger down on the 3rd fret of the thickest string. And we're going to sort of even if you play the 5th string, I'm muting it with my ring finger there. So it's okay if your ring finger is touching the 5th string, just don't push it down. Okay, so those first 4 chords. And then we're going to go to an F chord. Now the simplest way to play an F, I have a whole separate lesson talking about a bunch of ways to simplify the F. If the F gives you trouble, there's lots of different ways you can play a mini F or a baby F or a modified F, right? One of them is just doing the middle 4 strings, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Okay, notice how the thickest and thinnest strings are muted, meaning my thumb and my index finger are sort of just lightly touching those strings so that they don't make a noise, even if we were to strum them. Okay, now we're going to play 2 measures of F. If you did the strumming pattern, it would be down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. That's what it sounds like. If we played the whole thing with this simple F, it would sound like this. And do it one more time. Okay, so that's the simplest way to play the intro. And again, if you've learned that, you've learned the first line of the verse. So really quick, let me show you some fun ways to spice up the F chord, because this is what you hear in the Paul, Simon, and Garfunkel recording. The first of them is going to be this little bluesy walk up kind of on the 2nd measure of F, right? Here's how to do that. Everything else is what I just taught you. We have our C, C over B, A minor 7, C over G. And then we have an F. Now the way I'm playing the F here is different. I'm going to use my thumb on the thickest string, 1st fret, to get that bass note. If this is new to you, I have a whole separate lesson teaching this, wrapped thumb F, I don't know what you want to call it. It's used in fingerstyle a lot. One of the benefits of doing this is it frees up your pinky to do cool stuff, exactly like we're going to do here. Okay, you can't really do that if you're barring like this because your pinky is accounted for. Okay, you want to keep your pinky as a free agent here to come in as needed. And even the little sus thing we're also going to learn here requires our pinky. So that's why wrapping your thumb on that 1st fret note to get that bass note is really good, okay? And then it's just 3rd, 2nd, 1st on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. I like to mute the 5th string here by just letting my ring finger sort of kind of touch it so that the 5th string doesn't ring out. That's going to cause problems later if we do let it ring out. And the other thing I'll say about this F really quick is it's okay if you leave the thinnest string open. Okay, that evokes an F major 7 vibe, and that is perfectly appropriate for this song if you listen to the recording. If you went up to this with that 1st fret on the thinnest string, I think that would go against the vibe of this song if you listen to the recording. So I recommend, and if you want, let that thinnest string ring out. Now this little riff right here. Okay, what's going on there? Well, think of it like this. This is an F major triad on strings 4, 3, and 2. What we're gonna do is hammer on from open to 2nd fret on the 3rd string. Play the 1st fret note on the 2nd string. Put our pinky down on 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then we're gonna bend that 3rd fret note up and then bring it back down and then play the 1st fret again. So if you look at just the blue notes here, okay, that's what it's going to be. Now if you want, on that 1 count, you can include the 3rd fret note on the 4th string. And if you also want, on the 4 count, you could include the rest of the 3rd and 4th string as well. So, right? So that would be that 2nd measure of F. Now before I play this for you, let me show you the other way we can do this, right? Everything is the same except for this last measure. What we're going to do in this F is we're going to hammer on our pinky to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. And we're going to do it on the 1 count and the 4 count, right? So, and after we hammer it on, we're going to do an up, down, but we're going to remove our pinky. So let me play for you now both of these. First, I'm going to do the bluesy fill the first time through on the F. And then the second time through, I'm going to do the F sus thing where we hammer on our pinky. That F sus thing is used throughout the song. So it would sound like this. Okay. All right, so that's what you need to play the intro to this song. Whether you want to do the simple version with just the basic strummed F, or you want to add in the sussed F or that little bluesy run on the F. So let's move ahead into the verses now. And again, what you've already learned has gotten your foot in the door, so to speak, and you're further along than you think. So in no time at all, you'll have what you need to play the rest of this one. All right, so y'all, let's look at the verse now. I'm going to show you how to strum. The rest of this song is pretty straightforward as far as the strumming. There's not too many licks and fills we're going to have to worry about for the most part here. So make sure you understand the strumming, right? Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. This sort of shorthand tab I have up here is going to show the chords, and every time you see a measure, you're going to do that strumming pattern. Whether the measure has 1 chord or 2 chords, the strumming pattern doesn't change, okay? This just lets me fit a lot of things on the screen comfortably here. So this first sequence here, the C, C over B, A minor 7, C over G to the F. This is what we learned in the intro, and it's going to be the first line of the verse, right? Let us be lovers, we'll marry our fortunes together. Okay, this next part is going to start off the same way. I've got some real estate here in my bag. And when we strum that A minor, you can keep it just straightforward. One last little fill I want to show you here is this little... It's a nice way to transition into the E minor that's coming up, but technically it's an E minor 7. But it's a nice way to sort of just capture the vibe of the recorded album. How to do this is you put your hand in an A minor shape. You're going to sort of release that 3rd string note, hammer it on, play the 2nd string, back to the 3rd string, thinnest string, put your pinky down on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Okay, so really all we're doing as far as adding notes to the A minor 7 is we're sort of hammering on that 3rd string note, and then we're adding that 3rd fret note of the 2nd string. Otherwise, we're just picking notes that are in the A minor chord. A lot of these riffs, they just come from the chord we're playing. We're just playing notes in that chord individually. Maybe we're adding 1 or 2 notes. That's what's going on here, right? And then we get to this next line. This is a nice, straightforward sequence of E minor 7 to A7, right? E minor 7 is just... It's just literally 1 finger down on the 5th string, 2nd fret. You could do a regular E minor if you want. It's going to sound more stable, right? And then the A7 is just the thinnest 5 strings. Open, 2nd, open, 2nd, open, right? So we bought a pack of cigarettes and Mrs. Wagner pies. And that leads us into the last line of this verse. So this last line, it's going to start off with this new 2-measure sequence where we go from a D to a C, G, C, and we end with this walk down that we've already learned, okay? So it ends with something familiar, but what about those first 2 measures here, right? The first measure is going to be on D for 3 counts and then C for 3 counts, right? D, C, and then G for a measure that's only 3 counts, so it's like a half measure here. And when we play this G, you can strum it if you want, but what I like to do to capture, again, the Paul Simon vibe is walk up. So for the G, it's just 3 notes. 3rd fret on the 6th string, open 5th string, 2nd fret on the 5th string, and then that leads us to the C that's going to start the walk down. So that whole sequence of that last line is going to be, and walked off to look for a man. And then an F. If you can do the sus, do it. Okay? So what we've learned there is going to be the first verse and also the 3rd verse. All right, let's look at verses 2 and 4 here. So again, you learned this chord progression once. You can use it for both verses, which is very, very handy here. So things start off the exact same way with the walk down we've already learned, right? Kathy, I said as we boarded a Greyhound in Pittsburgh. Okay, now this next line, it's very reminiscent of the first verse where we go from C to C over B to A minor for 2 measures. But there's something different here. The 2nd chord, it's not a C over B, it's an E minor. You listen to Paul Simon's recording, it's clearly an E bass note. So that's going to be, Michigan seems like a dream to me now. Okay, you're on A minor for 2 measures there. And then we're going to go to G for just 2 measures and hang out, which is really nice because it's pretty straightforward, right? It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. And then we're going to go to the ending of this verse section here. So this is similar to the end of verse 1, where we're going to start on a D chord. We're going to do 3 counts of D. Then we go to 3 counts of G, right? And then we go back to a D chord for half a measure. And then we end with a C major 7 chord here. So the verse 2 in full would be like this, right? Kathy, I said as we boarded a Greyhound in Pittsburgh, Michigan seems like a dream to me now. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. I've come to look for Okay, C major 7 is just a C chord without the second string fretted. So I've taught you verse 1 and 3, I've taught you verse 2 and 4. The only things we have left to learn here are the bridge and the ending, and they're pretty approachable here. So the bridge begins with the trickiest chord in this entire song. It's a B flat major 7. You could play this as first, third, second, third. And if you want, you can add the first fret on the thinnest string as well. Okay? This is what Paul Simon's playing on the album version. You can hear the B flat bass note. But here's the deal. I find this chord incredibly tricky to switch to, and I don't like to mess with that. And when I was watching Paul Simon play this live, he's using a different chord there. He's using an F major 7, and I'm going to add in the A bass note. Okay, so that's going to be open, third, second, first, open. Okay, it still gives us the major 7 flavoring, and it works with the melody quite well. Okay, so again, how I'm going to teach it is F major 7 over A. If you want to be a completionist, use a B flat major 7 wherever I have the F major 7 over A. Okay, so that's going to be like this: 2 measures of the F major 7 over A. Laughing on the bus, playing games with the faces. And then we repeat everything we just did. He said the man in the gabardine suit is a spy. Now we're going to go to a regular F. I said be careful, his bow tie is really a camera. We're walking it down. This chord is new. This is the one new chord in this walkdown. So this walkdown starts the same way. And after the C over G, you can hear, listen to Paul Simon and the Garfunkel recording, there's this bass note which should catch your ear off guard, because this note, F sharp, is not in the C major scale, right? So what this is, it's just a little chromatic walk down to spice things up, but it sounds cool. This is a chord I learned through finger picking John Prine, right? How I play it is middle finger on the second string, second fret of the thickest string, then ring finger on the second fret of the third string. I'm muting that 5th string. Leave the 4th string open, that's okay. And leave your index finger where it would be for a C chord, okay? 1st fret, 2nd string. So in full, he said be careful, that bow tie is really a camera. Okay, that's how the bridge ends. And then it's going to go to verse 4, which we've already learned because I played it for you in verse 2 and verse 4. They use the same chords. And the last thing we have here is the ending. Let me play you this walk down twice in a row. It's a short walk down, but the second half of it's new. And you'll recognize the first half, and let me play it, then you can sort of follow my explanation to learn it, right? This is played just instrumentally. There's some light melodic guitar being played on top of it. And the ending either fades out or ends on a C chord. Here's how to do this. The first 4 chords of the ending are what we've already learned. It's the walk down from the intro and all the verses. What we're going to do next, though, is go to a D minor. And I recommend playing it with a pinky on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. The reason why is it frees up your ring finger to do this C bass note, which we're going to need for the 2nd chord. This 2nd chord is a D minor over C. Now, when you're playing it, I think you could probably mute that 3rd string or 4th string with your ring finger. And then you're going to move your middle finger to the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And this is really just a G7 over B. And then you're going to add your ring finger to the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And again, this is a G7. So the whole Walkdown pretty nice, right? You could repeat this over and over again, and just end on the C chord or fade out, right? The song is in the key of C. We want to typically end on the 1 chord when we're ending a song. So y'all, head on over to my website if you want to get my practice notes for this song. It has all this stuff written out, the chord progressions, the chord shapes, so the strumming help you'll need, breaking down the walkdowns, the simple version, the more advanced version with the fills. I also have a bonus video showing you the vocal melody notes tabbed out, right? It's helpful if you're practicing singing and you want some reference notes to sort of match your vocal pitch to. So that's a separate video, and that's included in my practice notes as well, right? I'll do a slow playthrough as well over there with tabs, with no singing, if you want to see how it sounds without the singing and all that sort of thing. So as always, I hope this is helpful. Y'all check out my other Simon and Garfunkel lessons. And to all of you who requested this song, I really hope you found it helpful. So thank you very much, y'all. And thank you to all the members who are supporting me with membership on my Song Notes website. Y'all make these lessons possible. I would not be going as deep if not for the support that you all are showing me. So if you want to become a member, head on over to songnotes.net. That's my website. That's where all my lessons are, and you can find out how to join, whether it's through a monthly membership or an annual membership. You get access to all kinds of good stuff, my courses, all my extended videos, jam tracks, the community forum, my PDF library, and if you buy any of my licensed lyric sheets, some of which I have for some lessons, those are available on a separate site, but you get a 50% discount coupon you can use when buying any of those. So head on over to songnotes.net to learn more, and I'll see you there. Take care, my friends. Until the next one, bye-bye.